This is To Watch Who.
Smith. Dr. John Smith.
And it's a new season.
Yeah, new doctor.
New doctor.
New titles, new face.
The Brigadier. He's blown up the Silurian base.
We have to justify his dick action.
I am usually referred to as the Master.
He looks like a magician.
Someone's trying to rescue Miss Grant.
A colony in space.
No, you can't. I warned you, Doctor. No!
Fuck me, Scale.
Death and disaster await you.
If I can be more like Miss Hawthorne in life, I think that would be a good thing.
Well, somewhere on this planet there are 10,000 Daleks.
Terry Nation is back.
I know, get the Terry Nations out. Woo, Terry Nation cocktails all round.
God, life's good, isn't it?
Cliff, basically, he's getting a wife and he's getting unlimited funding.
I'm a journalist, Sarah Jane Smith.
She's a journalist, ladies and gentlemen.
Sarah James is annoying.
You may be a doctor, but I'm the doctor.
So do you know Tom Baker?
I mean, I know he was a doctor. I don't know him personally.
And through the Daleks, I shall have that power.
The back of his chair.
Yeah, it's a massive
Right.
fuck you.
He blew it.
It was right, but it just wasn't 100% for me.
It was my idea.
What was?
To blow it up.
Well, then you should be feeling very happy.
We have a fucking robot dog. I mean, come on.
According to my instructions, it's the Court of the Key of Time.
I'm the sixth dynasty, the sixth. And Romana's like, right, yeah, but we've got to go. Like,
How many nylons have you seen today?
it was just such a unique way of it all happening.
I'm not mad about your tailor.
Gets up and he like zones into that camera. And I was like, okay, here we go.
Welcome to the 1970s All-Stars Awards. Grab a Terry Nation cocktail or a Key to Time cake and get ready to celebrate the 1970s. Mandrels and Movellans, Autons and Accents. Your hosts are here, broadcasting across the cosmos. It's Mark and Sarah.
It's the 70s.
Hey! Well, the end of the 70s.
We're celebrating the 70s.
There we are, yeah.
We are coming to you from Nerva Beacon. We are broadcasting across the universe. It's our home from home, Nerva Beacon, yep. Vira and Noah have kindly let us come back here. They've made sure there aren't any whirring around, and we're here in their little recording studio that they've got. Do you remember Noah and Vira?
Sort of.
Okay.
Nova Beacon rings the bell.
Okay. Well, yeah, we've been here a few times.
Of course.
And yet we are celebrating the 1970s. This is the award ceremony of all award ceremonies, to celebrate the whole decade and see who has made a lasting impression, mainly on Sarah.
Who just never remember.
Yes, basically, that's what this episode is.
You know what? I was thinking about this the other day. I think the reason why I remember so much of the early stuff compared to the later stuff is purely because when you start something, it's easier to remember the early details. And then as more, it's like when you learn something new, then as you add more things on, it becomes harder and harder to remember but you always remember your core things that you like. So I think that's why a lot of the early ones stick. And over time, I'm sure these ones will stick. But right now, they're just additional information that, like, I don't have on me.
It's quite a lot to remember. It is, considering, and you have only watched these once.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, before we go to the 70s, let's just quickly go back to the 60s again. Let's see what you remember now you've said that. So, Doctor Who magazine, you know, I used to mention that they did a poll of all the stories and fans would sort of rank what they've done. Well, they're doing that again for the 60th this year.
Oh, okay.
And they've just released the 60s results.
Oh, go on.
So I thought I would let you know. So what they've done, they've put the first Doctor sort of ranked and the second Doctor, so they've split them up. So I thought I would just tell you sort of what was at the top and what was at the bottom, just to see what you think of what fans think nowadays, because a few sort of opinions have changed, I think, since like 10 years ago, since they did this last. So the first Doctor, the top 3 stories are... Number 3, the Daleks' Master Plan, which is obviously Katerina and the Button.
Yeah.
Number 2, the Time Meddler, the Monk and Vicky and Stephen. And number 1, the Dalek invasion of Earth when Susan left.
Where is ours?
So Keys and Marinus, I knew you were going to ask this. Out of 29, it's number 18.
What? What is wrong with you all?
And do you know what's just above that? Edge of Destruction,
What?
Spring.
No! Oh my gosh!
All this work we've been doing to make Keys and Marinus a more popular story has obviously not worked.
Furious! Bashing! No! This is so wrong.
Okay, so the bottom 3 of First Doctor stories. Number 27, The Sensorites, which in my mind is always ham and pineapple pizza in the first lockdown when that first announcement happened. It's always going to be The Sensorites for me, that.
Yeah.
Number 28, The Space Museum, which was Vicky and the Teenagers, which was at the bottom when we talked about it in the last survey. And the least favourite First Doctor story is The Web Planet. So at least you can agree on that, which is bugs and
fair.
ants.
So, like, how does that compare to the last time? Like, has it changed? Other than I'm guessing the bottom hasn't changed that much, but
so the bottom hasn't changed. But the last time the most favourite First Doctor story was the first Dalek story.
Interesting.
And that's now number 5. But the Dalek invasion of Earth where Susan left, I can see it.
Who votes on this? Who do I have to have words with?
This is all the fans.
Right, I have to have words with all of you then, because like that's a travesty.
I can't believe Keys and Marinus is so low. It's gone up by like 2 or 3.
That's it.
Since the last.
That's all we've done. We have to wait 10 years as well before this will happen again. Fucking hell, I've not got time for that.
Okay, so the second Doctor. What you think? Enemy of the World, the duplicate.
Yeah,
second Doctor is your favourite.
Probably, yeah. I do enjoy that one, but I'm trying to think.
We don't have a Keys and Marinus for the second Doctor, really, do we?
No, it's probably that one because so much happens, and we got some really good characters out of it.
So the top 3 second Doctor stories. Number 3, Power of the Daleks, Jan Lee.
Oh yeah,
first one.
Okay.
Number 2, Tomb of the Cybermen, £50 Who Can Open the Doors.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And number 1, The War Games, his last story. With the War Lord.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Because I did enjoy that one, and I think that's fair to be in the top 3. I'm surprised that our favourite isn't up there, though.
Enemy of the World, number 7. So it has gone up. Since it was found, it's definitely gone up. Because way back, according to this, in 1998, it was number 17. So it has gone way up in people's estimations. And the bottom 3 for the second Doctor, number 19, The Underwater Menace. Actually, that's a bit of a Keys and Marinus, isn't it? Apart from Polly,
yeah.
Number 20, The Dominators, which is the Quarks.
Oh, yeah, but it's not great, but they're the best part of it.
And the last one is The Space Pirates, which do you remember that one? It was nearly all missing, and it's that guy under the table. It's right towards the end.
I just remember, which is the one with the thingy in his wig?
Oh, The Smugglers. That's the first Doctor story. The Squire in his wig.
Yeah.
The Smuggler. Yeah, it's right down there. Number 24 out of 29.
Yeah, so it should be.
Yeah, it's always down there. So there we go. That's a little look back at the 60s. Because our story, obviously best story of the 60s in our 60s awards was the Keys of Marinus, obviously. So, yeah.
Now starts our at least 10-year minimum campaign to get that.
I know.
Sorted.
What do we have to do to get everyone to love the Keys of Marinus? I do not know.
Mark, we're going to start T-shirts. I think we're just going to have to start making T-shirts, okay? #, get keys up.
Get keys. We'll think of a slogan.
Think of that hashtag. Okay, we'll work on it. But it's happening, guys. Like, everyone needs to just rewatch it again. Everyone rewatch it and just, it's so good. Legs
out for Marinus or something like that.
We're going to work on this, okay? We're not doing this in the moment.
Okay. Well, let's go way forward then to the 1970s and let's start.
How many categories are there for this?
It's exactly the same as the 60s one.
Yeah, but that was a while ago. So how many categories are there? Remind me.
We have less. We only have we have nine. We have nine. We have nine. And there's only... So what I don't know if you saw, we put all out on Twitter different polls. So everybody has voted for the final nominees. So we've only got 3 for each category to compete against. And our wonderful coffee members were sent a survey and they have decided the final winners. So you can't blame us.
Yeah, it's not on us, guys.
It's not us. This is a wider opinion this time.
This is our own Doctor Who magazine.
Yeah. And also I've got our wiki up that Lucas put together just so we can compare to last time as well as we go along. So the first category is
Couple of the Decade, sponsored by Edith Catering. Food, mead, and love.
So I put together on Twitter quite a few polls of all the different couples that we've talked about, because obviously we don't do that in the Doskers. So all the memorable couples. So Meg and Sam in the first one with the first Third Doctor story. You know, with the shotgun,
Oh,
the old couple.
the old couple. Yeah.
So we had them. People like Greg and Petra from Inferno.
Yeah.
You know, anyone, obviously Cliff and Joe from Green Death.
Yeah.
I put in quite some others that maybe that I thought would have been a couple. Well, Strella and Reinhardt from Androids of Tara.
Yeah.
You know, quite a few different ones. So I will read out the final 3 as voted for. Greg and Petra from Inferno. Cliff and Joe from the Green Death, and Strella and Reinhardt from the Androids of Tara. So
They were our shortlist.
they were the shortlist. Greg and Petra from Inferno.
Okay, remember Greg and Petra? They were the nose, yeah?
No, Greg and Petra. So she was working as the scientist in that when they were drilling through the Earth's core.
Yeah.
Greg came along and he actually was a bit horrible to Petra. She was like the secretary, and then they had the alternative universe, you know, the brigade leader, and then there was alternative Greg and Petra, who I think were a little bit nicer. There were 2 versions, weren't they? And then she ended up trying to save everyone.
Yeah. That does ring a bell, yeah.
So we did talk a lot about Greg and Petra at the time.
They do. I mean, I do remember them in my head. I couldn't put faces to names at the time. So,
and I'm not sure if they were, you know, an actual couple or not, but
sometimes we put people as couples, so that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Obviously Cliff and Joe, they definitely were a couple, and that was her leaving story.
Yeah.
And Cliff, he won Icon of the Season at the time as well.
Yeah.
Really popular character. You talked about Cliff quite a lot. You're not going to forget Cliff and Joe,
I
are
love
you?
Cliff.
So yeah. So they had to be there. I'm glad they got through. I mean, there were some others like Leela and Andred didn't get through. But they didn't have that.
It wasn't the
if you
same.
compare those two, though, like with the Green, they had that whole story to sort of develop their relationship. Leela and Andred, it was just right at the end. I'm not going with you. I'm staying here.
Yeah.
The comparison between those two, so well deserved here. And Strella and Reinhardt from the Androids of Tara, the duplicate Romana one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
he
got
was the
through.
Prince one, wasn't he? And she looked like Romana. Yeah.
I also had Seth and Tika. You like Seth from the Horns of Nimon? Astra and Merak. You didn't really like Astra and Merak. She was a bit whiny. So there were some other ones that didn't get through. So let's find out who has won Couple of the Decade.
I don't know. Can I make a prediction? Because I genuinely you've got them in front of you. Can I make my prediction? And then this is the closest we'll get, I think, to if we were to decide.
Okay.
So if it was me deciding, I would be going with Cliff and Joe.
Okay.
That would be.
So let's find out. So in the 60s, it was obviously Altos and Sabitha won this award.
Of course.
So who's going to be
where
next
our
to them?
loyalties lie. It's in those legs.
And the winner of Couple of the Decade is Cliff and Joe.
Hey, Joe,
Come and drink a toast to the happy couple, huh?
But that's us.
Aye, so it is.
Way! I think that's good. I think that's fair. Like, when we talk of the decade, that was a big one.
Yes, yeah, and it was by like quite a margin that they won. So I think everybody is in agreement. Yeah, because all the others, like I said, they're not really. I mean, we've put them, quite a few of them, as couples, a bit like Greg and Petra and things like that. Whereas these really were, and they have that continuing story. There's a load of Blu-ray trailers with them both reunited. Well, actually, there is one book where they have got divorced, but then that doesn't count anymore because later on they're not. So there's two different versions. But yeah, they absolutely deserve it. So they are up there. Couple of the decade. Okay. Next off. Oh, I should also say as well, we don't have an audience here. We are just broadcasting out to the whole universe from the space station. So that's why we don't have the red carpet or anything. We're doing it quite smaller this time. But yeah, that's why we are just going out live to everyone rather than having the whole party here, because we just had the Doskers as well, haven't we? And
we have just had a Doskers.
Yeah, and Edith is busy, so we just couldn't get that sorted in time. So have to mention Edith.
Also, I think people just want us to crack on with the series, probably. So
yeah, yes. Okay, next,
Monster of the 70s.
So what would you think of as Monster of the 70s? What stands out when you think of monsters that we've had?
See, I always go back to some of the big ones. Even though maybe I don't think of them as iconically, you can't escape. They're not in it as much, but you can't escape things like the Daleks. It's been a bit of an odd season for monsters. An odd season, an odd decade even for monsters.
Well, we've had things like the Ogre, which was the stone thing. Nucleus of the Swarm, the big prawn thing.
Yeah, we've had a lot of just lots of different ones, but there's very few. Maybe, actually, I would have, but I don't know if he'd count as a monster because I think he'd count more as a villain. What's his name? Not Dracos. What's his name?
Dracos? Who?
No, I'm not.
Omega.
No, he's in the chair. Looks like he started the Daleks.
Oh, Davros.
Davros.
He's in the villain category.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's when it comes to a monster, it's hard to there's nothing that really stands out in terms of a repeat or anything like that in the same way as what we had previously.
Well, we did have things like the Axons, those gold people. This is where we had that controversy where actually Alpha Centauri
was
also
Alpha Centauri! Oh my gosh!
But that was monster and supporting character. We had to have and icon of the season at some point, I think, as well. So
Alpha Centauri is probably, I don't know how I forgot about Alpha Centauri, because Alpha Centauri has repeat visits as well. And it's such an iconic character. Yes. Okay, interesting. Well, Mark, tell me who made the shortlist.
Okay. Should I just read them all out so it's a surprise for you?
The shortlist?
Well, yeah, all of them, yeah. Do you want me to? Or
I don't need all of them. I just want who's shortlisted.
Yeah.
The three that made the shortlist. I don't need the long list, Mark. God, it's hard enough remembering who's on the shortlist, never mind the long list.
Okay, let's
see. Break.
Let's see who you remember. So, Monster of the 70s. The final nominees are the Autons from Spearhead from Space, Lynx the Sontaran from The Time Warrior, and Mr. Sin from The Talons of Weng-Chiang.
I remember all of those. I think the Autons are gold, yeah?
No, the Autons were the dummy ones out the shop window ones.
Oh, of course they are. Yeah. Of course.
We really like that story, and we really like them.
Autons were great. Then the next one was
Cigar.
Yeah. I couldn't remember who it was. Sorry, you said Lynx. Yeah, I remembered Lynx. Thumb looked like a rock. I remember it from my own description before I even met Lynx when we did that game where I had to describe people.
But I said Lynx the Sontaran. I made it very clear, not just the Sontarans, because we had about 3 Sontaran stories. But that first one, because of with the costume was the best in that time. When he first took off that helmet and he was sort of had that mouth and sort of like the tongue sticking out. That was, and then as we went on, the costume it wasn't the same. It got sort of worse and worse. By the time we got to that last lot, they were awful. So it's definitely Lynx. and Mr. Sin.
Yeah, Mr. Sin was a surprise there.
But he was scary, though. He was...
Yeah, I do remember Mr. Sin, so...
I mean, some of the others, like Arato, the big green blob, as I say, the prawn, Nucleus of the Swarm. With those cheaper seasons that sort of happened, more like the Fourth Doctor time, I think the monsters in the Third Doctor time were quite more inventive in a way, I think.
I agree.
But those last few seasons of Fourth Doctor, when it got really cheap, that's when we had a few problems with that. I mean, stuff like the Zygons, I don't think they even got through because we didn't give them a Oscar, so...
Yeah. So, I feel that's a very interesting and strong 3. Who do I think? Maybe Lynx? I think my vote would be for Lynx.
Okay, well, just to remind everyone, in the 60s, it was the Daleks, obviously.
Yeah.
So joining up with the Daleks for the 70s, the winner is... Lynx, the Sontaran.
Didn't I tell you might not find my face pleasing?
I'm on a roll. She's on a roll.
Yes. I'm happy with that, actually, because...
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
It is, I think it's one of the most effective. And actually, at that time, something we'd never seen before, completely... Like, that idea that you take the helmet off and literally the head inside is the same shape as the helmet is brilliant. Such a Doctor Who kind of idea. And
it's something that has returned, not in the same, but that idea, that character, the species, has returned. And yeah, I think it was a really good first introduction of that monster.
And you will always remember him as Cigar Rock. So
Cigar Rock, yeah. Before I even met him, he was Cigar Rock.
Okay, next.
Best Villain.
Now, this is very, very interesting because you've mentioned Davros.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had the Master introduced in the 70s.
Of course we did. Oh, I love the Master as well.
Other people that we had nominated were Brigade Leader was up in the vote. Your favourites.
Yeah.
Oh, remember the Marshal from the Mutants? He played the Squire.
Yeah.
And then he came back as that baddie in the Mutants. Omega as well.
Yeah.
And Sutek, the pyramid. Do you remember Sutek?
Yeah, I do.
So there's some.
I remember the name.
The mummies, and he was sort of in space. Pyramids of Mars. It was the Egyptian one.
Oh yeah. And you walk through. Yeah.
You walk through. I don't know. We didn't have a shorthand for it. To just say the Egyptian one, I suppose, for that one. The Collector from the Sunmakers. The tax one. Who was over the top.
Yeah, I liked him. Yeah, I did like
obviously,
him.
And then Nurse from the Pirate Planet as well. So, yeah, some really good standout people that we have awarded in the past. I think maybe the Fourth Doctor stories are stronger for those villains than the Third Doctor stories.
Yeah. The Third Doctor had better monsters, but the Fourth Doctor had better villains.
Yeah, so the final nominees are the Master in Season 8, Davros from Genesis of the Daleks, and Eldrad from The Hand of Fear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Eldrad was a good one.
So the Master, that's the original Master, that's his first season. Because I think he won Best Regular at that time.
Yeah, he was great.
Not to be, and I've obviously said the Season 8 Master rather than the crispy one that we got later on in the Fourth Doctor's time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about him. He was brilliant. Best Regular, says it all.
Fans of the Master. Yeah.
Says it all. And that changed Doctor Who completely as well, actually. Now, with that introduction, and shaped the whole of that Third Doctor.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It was all about the Master, so he had to be there. Davros, again, reinvigorated the Daleks a bit in that story.
It gave it a fresh energy and a fresh perspective on a villain.
And he was fuck you in all over the place with his chair.
How has no one not seen that before?
I know, now we just cannot unsee it. Once you point that out.
I think that says more about me than anyone else.
But again, it's that first Davros as well, not the second one we had, which had the worst mask. It's that first one that is really effective, and that's a different actor as well.
I think actually throughout these, it's always the first one that's the most effective. Yeah,
I think it is. And Eldrad as well.
Yeah, but Eldrad was strong. That was a really strong villain. It depends what else was in that category to vote against, I guess. But
yeah, so Eldrad was up against the Nurse, the Collector, and Skagra from Sharda, so it was a tough category. But the people have decided, so...
Yeah, I would be voting, I feel, the Master. For me, the Master was like, when I think of... I don't even know... I think it's because I was thinking of monsters before and just trying to think of things, but the Master changed so much, was such a fantastic character. And yeah, I think like for that 70s period was such an iconic thing. So yeah, that would be my vote.
Okay. Well, they've all had votes, and it is quite close. But the winner of Best Villain of the 70s is... The Master.
I am usually referred to as the Master.
Hey! She's on a roll! She's on a roll! I'm going to do that after everyone.
Well, Davros was quite close, and I can see both. I mean...
I could see both. I mean, it really was between those two, but for me, the Master just tipped it.
Yeah.
And I think purely just because he was in more.
Yeah, well, I suppose he had more chance, but it was just that character as well, the way he played it as well.
Yeah, it was great. It was such a good compliment to the Doctor as a villain, and it was just a really fun, unique addition to that world, you know, of the Time Master world, and yeah, great.
Okay, who is next? Let's see.
Best Supporting Character.
We've always got a lot of these, haven't we? I mean, we've had, going backwards, we had Chris Parsons from Sharda, Amelia Rumford, Cordo from the Sunmakers, D84. Do you remember the robot?
Yeah, I remember
okay.
D84.
Just checking.
Sacrificed his life.
Yeah, Amelia Ducar.
Oh, Amelia. We loved Amelia.
And then other ones, of which I don't think you remember, Severin from Genesis of the Daleks, who was that mutant one that helped Sarah build the rocket. No.
Oh, that's what rings a bell. Yeah.
That was a weird season, actually. Alpha Centauri.
Alpha Centauri! Yeah.
Cliff Jones again. Who else? Who else do we have early on? Let's just check. Oh, King Peladon.
King Peladon, yeah.
Miss Hawthorne.
Miss Hawthorne. I was waiting for you to say Miss Hawthorne. Miss Hawthorne's crack.
Greg Sutton won for season 7.
Yeah.
So much Greg. So much Greg in this. But who did people nominate for the final 3? Well, they are Miss Hawthorne from the Demons, Cliff Jones from the Green Death, and Amelia Rumford from the Stones of Blood. What is it? What is it about these Miss Marple old lady? There's so many of them, and we love them all. Everyone loves them.
Yeah, that's a really tough 3.
Like Miss Hawthorne, loads of people love Miss Hawthorne. We love Miss Hawthorne.
Yeah, and I mean, just off the bat, I think Miss Hawthorne gets my vote.
But then you love Amelia Rumford as well.
I do, but I think Miss Hawthorne gets my vote more. I think it's because Amelia Rumford felt like similar, but Miss Hawthorne was the original. Do you know what I mean?
What about Amelia Ducar, though? She didn't do as much. She painted those flowers and went undercover.
She painted those flowers and just helped a bit, but I'm surprised that Alpha Centauri didn't make it.
No. I think he was in the same category as Miss Hawthorne, though, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
And then Cliff Jones as well. Again, everyone still loves Cliff Jones.
Cliff's great. I mean, we do love Cliff. But for me, I think it's Miss Hawthorne.
She really did make an impression, didn't she?
And continues to. Like, the philosophies and beliefs of Miss Hawthorne are something we all live by today. So
I don't know. I quite like Amelia Rumford. Oh, I don't know who I would choose, actually. I don't know. Nobody has really stuck like... I mean, not like Edith won anything last time in the 60s anyway. I'm just saying, who won support... Oh, do you know who won Best Supporting Character in the 60s?
go on.
Astrid from Enemy of the World. That woman in the helicopter in the duplicate second Doctor one that you like.
Oh, yeah, I think she did a lot. I think we like...
She was in that helicopter a lot.
Yeah.
Astrid was there. Oh, Ganatus was also nominated as well. And Samantha Briggs with the hat. And Sarah Kingdom. So, I don't know. It's completely different to the 60s. Completely different set of characters. We've gone from sort of like 60s fightery women to now like 70s old Miss Marple ladies as our favourites.
Yet, supporting our decade.
Yeah.
For me, it's Miss Hawthorne. I'm going to say that again. For me, it's Miss Hawthorne.
Okay, well, we have a clear winner.
Oh.
With quite a few votes. And the winner of Best Supporting Character of the 70s is Amelia Rumford from The Stones of Blood.
Way! Oh my gosh!
Good grief, I don't believe it.
She's lost her role. Okay. I mean, also, Amelia was great. Well done, Amelia.
I mean, Miss Hawthorne was second.
Yeah. Fair.
But Amelia Rumford, yeah, I can see it. And we love the Key to Time season. We love that story. That's the same one with Vivian Faye in it as well.
Yeah, it's a great story. I think, and maybe for me at the time, we compared her a lot to Miss Hawthorne. So Miss Hawthorne feels like OG. Do you know what I mean? So maybe, but Amelia was great, and like we loved her at the time.
But it's weird, yeah, because Amelia was more about the science, and Miss Hawthorne was all about the sort of supernatural magic. So
and like hitting people with her ball and stuff.
Well, Amelia hit everyone with a shed lip.
What's his name?
Amelia had a truncheon. She was ready to hit people with a truncheon, so they are very similar.
They're very similar.
They are
Miss Hawthorne's original, she's OG girl, so...
Yeah, well done. And just to say, we will be sending out our awards through space to our nominees that have won. They're watching on their time-space visualizers, so they are there.
Yeah. We've got all this budget, you see.
Yeah, we'll give them a wave out there in space.
That's where all the budget's been spent. We haven't brought them here.
I mean, if you want to go out into space and give them the award, you're quite welcome to, but no, you don't want to move.
Here, thanks.
You're not moving, no. Okay. Next.
Best regular.
Pretty much all of our regulars were up for nomination. Who would you say, just when you say best regular of the 70s?
I mean, the 70s is so long. I'm trying to remember everyone. Can you remind me of who we've had?
Well, I mean, Third Doctor, Fourth Doctor, Liz Shaw, Sarah Jane, Leela, K9.
I think
Romana.
For me, it would probably be Liz Shaw and Sarah Jane and first Romana.
Why
do I call her Ramona? What is that? She's not a pizza. Okay,
so the weird thing is, the first Romana never got a Doscar. I thought she got a Doscar, but she didn't. So she's not. She never got nominated.
I think she got it for something else. I think she got it for clothes and stuff.
Yeah. So our best regular for the 60s, just going back, was Barbara.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah,
the voting for this one, to get down to that final three, we did lose some big names. So the final nominees for best regular are the Third Doctor, the Fourth Doctor, and Leela.
Wow, okay.
I think people are going to be very shocked there's no Sarah Jane.
Yeah, but I mean, if people have picked between the Doctor and Sarah Jane, I get it.
Yeah. So out of those three, it's so tough, isn't it? Because they're so completely different.
Yeah, really different. Like that is and that's so interesting because what I would have said is not even on there. Like, literally, the 3 I've said aren't even on that list. That's really interesting.
But it's funny because going back, the first Doctor never won anything.
No.
And we love, we love all
We
the
do love the first Doctor.
things he did, yeah, but he was never up for anything.
So, okay. Where's my gut lie? My gut is 3rd Doctor, but I think it'll be 4th.
Okay,
Like,
well,
my gut is 3rd. I think it will be 4th.
They all had votes.
Okay.
The winner of Best Regular is, and going up next to Barbara Wright on that big gold platform or whatever we have for the for the All Stars, is the 4th Doctor.
There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that. I mean, he's been around the longest.
He had, and obviously overall in Doctor Who, not just the 70s, the 4th Doctor you think of, don't you, when you think of Doctor
And I get that. I totally get that. I think it's because I'm going off where I'm at in the season, and where I'm at right now, he's a little bit annoying. I think as time moves on, I'll forget that, and I'll be able to look back on it in a different, with like the rose-tinted glasses. So I get it. That's why I was like, mine would be 3rd. I think the vote will be 4th. That's why I made that quite clear. In the same way that, like, I had issues, I'm sure, with the 3rd Doctor that I just don't see anymore because you're on a new thing and you look at things in different ways.
Oh, he seems ages ago, doesn't he?
It really does. And that's
such
the other thing as well. I'm very aware the 4th Doctor has been around for a long time.
Yes.
I.e. most of the 70s. So, yeah, I get that.
Right. Well, next up.
Best story.
Really tough. Really tough. What do we have for the 60s? So the 60s best story was Keys of Marinus.
Of course it was. Because it should be. Listen. Hashtag raising the keys.
What's our Keys of Marinus of the 70s?
Well, we'll find out, Mark. I don't know. I mean...
What would we say?
I don't know. It's really...
What do we talk about a lot?
This is the other thing, though. Bear in mind, the 60s was shorter.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was a couple of years shorter, wasn't it?
This is why it's so hard, because the 60s was like 6 years. This is 10. It's a lot of time. So when I think of things, I'm like, it goes further back than I realise. It's really hard to timestamp it.
I mean, ones that we really like. We like that first story of the 3rd Doctor because it was so different with the shop window dummies and things.
Yeah, that was a great one.
I
really like the one where all of them came back. The 3.
Three Doctors, yes.
That was
3
different.
Doctors. Yeah.
Would it be my favourite story of the decade? I don't know, but I did enjoy it.
I like the dinosaurs one, actually.
There's been some that we've had real suspense on, but I just can't think right now. Mark, what was nominated? Tell me.
Okay, so, well, if we just look at the polls, so stories that were up for the final vote: Claws of Axos, the Gold People one; Curse of Peladon, the Alpha Centauri one.
Oh, great, yeah,
they were up.
That was a great story.
Yep, they were up there. Other ones that people could vote for were Carnival of Monsters, Debbie and Paul McGee. Yeah. Debbie McGee and Paul Daniels. The Dinosaurs one, we like the Dinosaurs one. Genesis of the Daleks, the first Davros one. Seeds of Doom, Nelson Mandela's Garden one.
Yeah.
What did we... Then later on, we obviously like the Cambridge one. Talons of Weng Chiang, the Victorian
that
one.
was a good one.
The Lighthouse one, Horror of Fang Rock. And Stones of Blood, the Amelia Rumford one. So they're some of the ones that were up. Yeah, actually, do you know, maybe it was Carnival of Monsters that is our bit of a Keys of Marinus-y one, because we really did talk about that one and like that one quite a lot with the...
Yeah, but I haven't come back to it in the same way. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of what ones that we talk about again and again, but it does tend to be the maggots, actually, the Green Death. Quite a bit.
Sometimes that's it. Sometimes it's not the one that makes it to the top, and for different reasons it can... But yeah.
Okay, well, the final 3 were Spearhead from Space, Genesis of the Daleks, and the talons of Weng Chiang. Oh, okay, you're looking at me like you can't remember those ones.
So no, I'm trying to remember Spearhead from Space. I'm trying to remember them. Spearhead from Space was the nose one.
No.
Why have I got this in my head?
No, you're so close. You're so close because that's the wheel in space. So you're not that far off.
That's right.
Spearhead from Space was the first Third Doctor story with the shot window dummies.
Ah, fine. Yeah. I remember that. Great one.
And Meg and Sam.
Yeah.
I'm playing the piano in a
Yeah.
cottage or whatever.
That's probably had
I don't know.
because of that for that season.
Yeah, you should remember that one because you flew in or
I know.
going all over the place in that one.
That's why I don't remember it that well, but there we go.
And then Genesis the Daleks was the first Davros one, which has been in the past voted the number one story of all time by like it's always up there.
Yeah.
So,
and then the next
no
one
surprise.
was which I do remember, which was the theatre one.
Yeah.
I was just trying to remember them, like
There is a big clear winner here. It's got nearly like all of the votes. I mean, they are all fan favourites, so there's no surprise.
see, I think it'll probably be the Davros one, but I'd like to think it was the first one, the Spearhead one. But I think it'll be Davros. Just like you say, it's always a fan favourite.
And the winner of Best Story is Genesis the Daleks.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I'm thinking about for us. We didn't. I mean, we liked it, and it's got the freeze frame cliffhanger. Love that. It's a classic, but it's not one. It's not. Yeah, it's not our Keys of Marinus. It's not. It didn't have those quirky, funny things that we might like, or those characters that we might like. It's quite. I think of it as quite a serious story. If you can have a serious story, it's not. There's not light moments that we tend to like in that. But for us, it was the best of that season, and therefore it's been voted best of the 70s. So Keys of Marinus, Genesis of the Daleks. If you want to do one story a decade, there you go.
Let's get hashtag move keys up.
Oh, hashtag keys please.
We're working on it.
There's nothing really that rhymes with Marinus. That's the problem.
Hashtag to watch keys.
Yeah, we'll work on it. Okay, next. Oh, here we go. This will be fun.
Worst moment of the 70s. Sponsored by Empress Cruises. Free space glasses with every trip.
And apologies to coffee members. I put worst moment of the 60s on the survey. I've just realised, but that's... You know what I mean. You voted. It's fine.
You knew what decade you were voting.
You know what it is. Right, well, there's always a whole load of different things for worst moment. I mean, things that we... for me, obviously the prawn comes to mind.
Yeah.
We've got things like the end of the Key to Time season we didn't really like. We've got Zilda being upset, crying in the Robots of Death. It's you. It was you. The dinosaurs from Invasion of the Dinosaurs, those dinosaur models. Too Many Prisons. Do you remember Too Many Prisons?
I do remember Too Many Prisons. We were just in prison all the time.
Yeah. The Eye Patch storyline. Revenge of the Cybermen music. A whole load of
dwell on this, Mark, too much.
Oh, okay. Well, the final three that have gone out to the people are Tom Tit from the Time Monster. Do you remember that? Okay, how do I explain this? Right. You know the one that Atlantis, where the Master was flirting with that lady in Atlantis?
Yeah.
Okay, there was that weird thing that the Doctor had that was shaped funny, and then it was called Tom. It was like Tom Tit. They called it Tom Tit, something into time or whatever, and the abbreviation was Tom Tit. And we were like, why did nobody change the script on that? So that made
Tom
it.
Tit, right? Yeah.
Also, the dinosaurs from Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And K9's voice in season 17. which we did complain. Maybe we've got a bit of people aware of that more now. We've talked about it. I don't know. I've not heard people talk about it much before, but it's made it.
It's made the shortlist.
People must agree with us.
So fucking annoying. Oh, okay. I think it'll be the dinosaurs.
Okay. In the 60s, it was Dodo's leaving scene was the worst moment.
I mean, that was terrible. But the dinosaurs were pretty bad because the rest of the story was strong and they were so bad at disappointing. Like, it was such a strong story. And then that was just awful and funny. I might as well have just got my own little toy dinosaur close to the camera and been like, "Wah!"
I know, it was a shame, wasn't it? Because, that was there was so many twists and turns in that story.
It's such a good story, and the dinosaurs were just the worst bit by far. So for me, it's that one. You had to explain Tomtit. I didn't remember it. But equally, that's probably because it was so early on. I just don't remember it.
Yeah, that was a while back. And Kenon's voice did get on our nerves.
So annoying, but...
Maybe I should have put Kenon's voice and personality. Maybe I should have put both, because they're linked to me.
They are linked, because it's like such a change, not just in the voice, but the personalities, the main one.
I mean, no one voted for the prawn, unfortunately. I would have voted prawn.
I know you would.
It couldn't walk on its own. It needed two people to get down the corridor.
And I wasn't as fussed as you were about it.
I mean, I would have put that whole story in, but you like the space hospital. I mean, that guy, I've just gone to...
I love the space hospital.
With the big shades, I just need to get my eyes checked. I'm like...
I love the space hospital.
No. Anyway, it didn't make it, so those three. And the winner, it's very close. They've all had votes, and there's only a vote in it, actually.
Oh, okay.
But the winner of worst moment of the 60s is... the dinosaurs in Invasion of the Dinosaurs. Yeah. So there we go.
She's back on a roll.
So Dodo's leaving scene and dinosaurs. There you go.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Okay, next we've got... Oh, yay!
The Closed Watch Icon Award.
So let's head over to the catwalk. We've got to have a catwalk for this, if nothing else.
I can't do 10 years of it. You've just got a shortlist the catwalk.
Oh yeah, no, it's only going to be the three on the catwalk. I've got everyone from the 70s.
I can't shortlist 10 years of it.
They're all dressed up, ready to go backstage.
10 years of outfits! Here we go! Fucking hell.
So we only introduced the Clothes Award halfway through the 70s. So what I did for the polls, I did include a few others that we talked about before, just to make up the numbers a little bit, and then our winners afterwards. So I'm just going to go straight to the final three, and we shall view on the catwalk. Here we go. So first out, we have Liz Shaw's hat from the Ambassadors of Death, the big white hat.
Oh, yes, I do remember it, yeah.
We also have Sarah Jane's Andy Pandy outfit from The Hand of Fear.
Oh, she's flaunting that down here.
There she goes, yep, very memorable. And Romana's purple outfit from The Androids of Tara.
They are three very classic outfits, I would say.
I mean, there's a lot of fan of Liz Shaw's white hat. A bit like Samantha Briggs' white hat. They probably shared the same... It's the same hat.
There's a lot of Liz Shaw fans out there.
Yes. Sarah Jane's outfit is one that is very memorable. Everyone remembers that. Though she only had that in that one story. And Romana's purple outfit. I was quite surprised, actually, at that one being voted through, finally. But I suppose they're all three very distinct.
That's tough. For me, it's between Liz Shaw's white hat and Andy Pandy.
Do you know what? I could see you wearing the Andy Pandy one.
I think I'm going to go with Andy Pandy. What won in the 60s?
Oh, so the 60s. What
was it? The glitter one?
Do you know what it was? It was a tie, actually, between Altos wearing no trousers And Zoe's glitter catsuit.
Yeah, I was going to say Zoe's got a catsuit, but I love that Altos wearing
Oh my
no
god!
trousers.
Why didn't we have the catwalk when Altos was around? Oh, he's gonna have to come back. The things we could have said. Imagine it's Altos.
He's wearing no trousers.
I can see where he keeps his keys.
Minimal chic. Honestly, I love that. Oh my god, that's tough. I'm gonna go with Andy Pandy.
Okay.
But I do have a lot of respect for the hat.
I would have voted for the hat, I think.
It's tough because I'm trying to think of the season as a whole, and I just remember when I saw the outfit, the Andy Pandy one, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is I remembered it, and I mentioned when we were talking, I was like that outfit, and you were like, "Yeah, we're going to talk about it." So that's why I feel I've gone for that. But I have a lot of respect for the hat because I remember the hat and I remember the moment. So
what were other ones? There was those silver foil space suits from
they were
from
great.
Nightmare of Eden. There were those ones.
Yeah, we love those.
Kai's rainbow outfit from the Mutants.
Oh yeah,
I put that in there as well. And Debbie McGee's outfit as well was quite colourful and things like that.
Yeah.
So they were there. But there
Who
can only
won,
be
Mark?
one winner to go up in our Clothes Watch Hall of
We're not
Fame.
true winners of someone wearing nothing. That's the best part. They're not even wearing an outfit, and that's the win.
Well, I suppose he was just like a cape and shorts, wasn't it? So.
Will there be another hat? That's the question.
Let's see. The winner is Sarah Jane's Andy Pandy outfit.
Yeah. I think it's it's pretty iconic.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to see if there's a replica.
Of what?
That outfit.
Oh, right.
There's got to be.
Oh, yeah, there'll definitely be.
I'm going to see if there is, yeah. But the just if people were wondering, oh, actually, no, yeah, the purple outfit came in second, and then Liz Shaw's hat last. So
there we go.
Yeah, I suppose it's just a hat though, rather than a whole outfit.
It is just a hat. Whereas, yeah,
but that's just like no trousers.
Purple outfit. I do remember the purple outfit. But and also I think that's it. The hat is just a hat, but I remember it being an iconic moment.
Well, she
rather
had
than an iconic outfit. Like she's wearing the hat in the moment because she was on that run, wasn't she? She was like on the bridge, running. Yeah. So for me, even though the look is key, it's what happens in the moment rather than. Whereas Sarah's Andy Pandy was such a look. I was like, yes. In the same way that Zoe's catsuit was a look. That's what we're going for here. So. Yeah. And in second place, and I feel that is fair, that purple outfit was definitely a look.
Right. So, last up, it's the award.
The Sir Ian Chesterton Bravery of the Decade Award.
It's so bigged up.
I know it is.
It's the most bigged up award we do.
And who won in the 60s? Oh, okay. It was Faria from Enemy of the World.
Faria! Yeah.
Who is up there? So,
and I felt that's very deserved. So
are there any that stand out? Do you want me to remind you of a few moments that have won in the past? So, we had Miss Hawthorne versus the Master. Joe Grant sacrificing herself. I think she did that a few times. We've had things like Sarah Jane when she fell off that scaffolding. Amelia Ducart undercover. Wester sacrificing himself. Third Doctor facing his fears. D84 sacrificing. Duggan punching. Quite a few. Yeah, lots of well, yeah. I mean, if you're an everyday person that sacrifices yourself, you're probably going to get
the Sir Ian.
In honour of Ian doing all those sword fights early on. So the final three.
Okay.
Final three as voted for are Liz Shaw's car chase in The Ambassadors of Death, like you've just mentioned, in her hat, and she went over the weir.
Yeah.
The third Doctor facing his fears in his last story, when he went to Planet of the Spiders.
Yeah.
And he had to come back. And D84's sacrifice in the Robots of Death.
Now, to be fair, when you were saying everyone, I did have D84 in my mind. It was
we like D84 because he could have been a companion. And he was well spoken. Yeah.
It was a great moment. Ooh, I think for me.
Okay. It is a draw, actually.
Oh!
I didn't realise that. It is a draw. So,
do we need to
I think, Sarah, you need to cast the final vote, the deciding vote on this. If I tell you...
No, I'll just vote and we'll see what difference it makes. How's that?
Okay, fine. Okay.
So, if it doesn't make any difference...
Which one will you vote for?
Okay, I will be voting for Liz Shaw.
Okay, there's a winner now. Is that really? And it's quite obvious who it is. Here we go. I told you, everyone, we're live across Nerva Beacon. Anything can happen. We had a moment.
I was literally started thinking it's between D84 and Liz Shaw, but whilst D84 was a robot, Liz Shaw was a human, and I feel that really is what the it is for the everyday hero.
Okay, well,
and Liz Shaw's moment, I do remember it, is pretty on there. So.
Well, I've sort of announced it already. I'll tell Noah and Vira to stop the fanfares and the confetti cannon. There's no point now. It's all been, it's just all been announced anyway. So there we go.
That's so funny.
Complete no fanfare. Well done, Liz Shaw.
No, we need fanfare because that feels like the most Liz Shaw thing to have happened. No fanfare. She left with no fanfare.
Yeah, no, she did. Yeah, it's very in keeping, isn't it?
Keeping with Liz Shaw is untrue.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many moments, so many things, and only a few really got through that we voted for. But I think it is well deserved.
84 second, out of interest. What was the second?
Yes, D84 was
so it
second.
was between those two, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the Third Doctor was a funny one, actually, but there were some seasons where we didn't have that kind of person or that character that did that. So something like the Third Doctor facing his fears sort of made it through.
Well, that Third Doctor was so, like, fighting, that sort of stuff. At that moment was a different character shift for him, that it was recognised rather than a...
No, yeah, because he did start off as a bit of a dick. I thought he was, and he mellowed over time. The Third Doctor. I don't think of him.
I think it felt like a bit of a different moment for him rather than what we've had.
Well, there we are. Liz Shaw and Faria are up there together, of the ultimate heroes of each decade.
I think people will be happy with that.
Yeah, there's some definite classic winners there, that no major surprises.
I don't want any hate for voting on Liz Shaw, by the way. If you give me hate, I'll give it back.
No, everyone loves. No one is going to hate on you for voting Liz Shaw.
I won't give it back. I've no time. No. But don't hate me.
There we are. That is the 70s wrapped up. We had to just do another little. There we are. Just remember what we remember before we move on to the 80s and add a whole nother load of stories, a whole nother decade to go.
It'll go into the short-term memory's bad. Long-term, I've got a pretty good long-term memory. It'll go into the long-term memory bank at some point, like the 60s did.
Yeah, in the middle of the 80s, you'll be like, yay, Seeds of Doom, Image of the Fendel, or something will just come out of nowhere. Planet of Giants will come back.
Oh my gosh.
Where did that come in the poll? Hold on. Oh, that was at the bottom as well. Planet of the Giants in the magazine poll.
As in the one where they're all really small?
Yeah.
I love that one.
5th from the bottom.
What? I loved loved it. It was so different. I liked that it was different. Okay. Now, I noticed on Twitter, just because we'll be going into the new season now, and someone, I've forgotten who because my phone's not here, but someone messaged saying that they missed me trying to guess what the next story was about. So can you remind us what the title is as we go?
Okay, season 18.
Yeah, fucking hell.
In the first story of the 1980s is called The Leisure Hive.
The Leisure Hive. Okay. Ooh. Okay. For some reason, I think of bees.
Okay.
But actually, I think it'll be like lots of workers. I think it'll be like some sort of like thing. I don't know what, some sort of like, not planet, but colony where everyone is like a worker, I think of like a beehive and I think of worker bees. So I think people will be working a lot and there'll be like some top leader that's corrupt.
Okay.
That's what I expect.
Right, well, we will find out next time then. Yes, it's the 80s.
I have no idea what to expect, but here we go.
Well, we will see you all then. Thank you, everyone, for listening and voting, taking part in either the Twitter polls or the Coffee member survey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 2watchwho. Or at buymeacoffee.com/2watchwho. Thanks to everyone that's signed up recently as well. And we look forward to talking to you all more throughout the 80s and finding out what you think as well. So here we go. Let's set off Nerva Beacon and head towards the Leisure Hive. I'll get Vira to steer. She's probably better at it than me. See you, everyone. See you soon. Bye.
To watch who?